do an exhibit on plain style furniture. So that's sort of what I love, is like what you would find in a mountain cabin, and it's something I collect and I've sold a little bit of, and most of my friends collect it, so it was kind of logical that I try to put it together. Probably 80–90% of early Americans lived in sort of a plain style. They lived in cabins and they didn't have ornate English or coastal made furniture. They had stuff that was made in like their communities, in their homes. And I sort of wanted to focus for the exhibit something that would really draw in people that like this kind of stuff. And a good friend of mine, David Springs, and I had been talking about these four-corner cupboards. And I decided that would be a great focal point to build the exhibit around. And what they are is they came from a section down in the Catawba Valley where 4 counties run together, but I think it's Catawba, Lincoln, Burke, and Cleveland where those 4 counties run together. And they're like post-Civil War up into probably the 1890s, and more research needs to be done, but right now we don't know who made them. What I tried to do is get a nice variants of things he made, different kinds of decoration. We have one that's been dry scraped. It was originally painted over and it was dry scraped back to the original. We have one that actually the paint had been removed, but there was still a shadow of the paint left on it, and a professional restorer restored the paint back to how he thought it originally looked. So it gives you a lot of different ways to look at these things. But when you first get to the exhibit, you see a Cleveland County flat single-doored cupboard. We have a step-back cupboard that was found in far western North Carolina, and it's the oldest piece in the exhibit. I think it dates to the last quarter of the 18th century. Next to that is this real funky Lincoln County pie safe that we have. It is a really big, deep pie safe, and it has a real folky splashboard. And our first table is like a little 4-drawer game table. Really cool about this, when you take the drawers out, and one of the drawers actually has a chessboard drawn on the back of it. You just take the drawer out, set it on the table, and you know, play checkers or whatever. Sitting next to that is a pretty primitive Haywood County table, a candle stand, I would call it, and it's probably 1860, 1870, and it's paint decorated, a gold and green and red color, and it has leaves and hearts painted on it. Next to that is a maple and pine screw top candle stand, which is a really cool piece. It has a wooden screw so you can raise and lower the table top to adjust your light if you had a candle sitting on it. On the wall above our tables, we have a collection of wall boxes. And in a 18th, 19th century home in the mountains, they would have used wall boxes a lot. They kept candles in them, mainly to keep the mice and stuff out of the candles. We do have a tavern table that's 18th century, and secondary wood on it is southern yellow pine, so we're assuming it is from North Carolina. And sitting next to that, we have a Jacobean style blanket chest or meal bin that was found up in the Boone area in the mountains, and it's probably 1870s, but it's made like it's 1700. Well, the African American room I thought would be a nice addition. It's sort of plain style, and the furniture in it, we only have 3 pieces of actual furniture, and 2 of them have what I call the church pew decoration, where they have these raised decorations on them that were done with moldings and different cut-out pieces of wood, and they looked like the sides of a church pew. We were lucky enough that a friend of mine over in Buncombe County found just a time capsule in a log cabin in the Fairview section of Buncombe County, where the furniture, the guy that made the cabin in 1830 also made the furniture, and in 1995 the furniture was still in the cabin from 1830. One section that I really like in this exhibit is our section on high chairs. It's amazing how stylized they are and how well they've stood up over time. And you know, no telling how many kids sat in these high chairs, you know, and the fact that they've still withstood that just is a testament to how well they were made. We do have several pieces of miniature furniture in the exhibit, and we have a small bed, and it was probably made for a little 2 or 3 year old kid, and I just assumed looking at it that this kid had lived the first couple of years in a crib or cradle, and this was their first introduction to a bed. This exhibit tells us that early life in western North Carolina was, you know, good and bad. You know, times were tough, but these folks made some good furniture and some stuff that has stood the test of time. And, you know, they may have lived in meager surroundings, but they still had some nice, well-made, colorful things in their home.